Hey guys, welcome back to the pod. I'm here with Bishton. Today we're going to be talking about Shrek 2, probably one of the best sequels of cinematic history.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I
At
really
least in
enjoyed this
animated movies, it's definitely up there. Before though we get to Shrek, I have a lot of news actually. One of them I thought about saving because next week. Oh yeah, we also have Saltcast news, possibly.
Oh yeah, Alex
Bert, you want to
will
hit him with the
finally be
Saltcast news?
coming back,
Yep, finally.
rejoining
Which
your
means
trio again.
yeah, it also means our Shrek stuff for the following ones will probably just be thrown into the end of whatever the next
so
episode.
I still want to finish talking about at least the series.
Yeah. I have a lot of news. One of them, huge news. I thought about saving it for when he comes next week, but we'll just talk about it again then because I would like to say this now when you probably don't know because this happened yesterday, 2 days ago.
Okay.
But then I have other things too. I'll save that one for last. The one you've probably heard about, at least I'd hope you heard about. Did you see they announced an open world Avatar The Last Airbender action RPG?
What's the name of it? Because I heard of a couple.
I don't think they have a name for it yet.
I remember hearing about one that turned out to be super bad.
No, this is not out yet. It was just said that it's in development.
Oh, that's pretty hype then.
And the one you're thinking of, I believe it's like a mobile game, basically. Something like that, the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
Is this it, Avatar Legends? I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about. Or the point is, people are saying this one actually looks decent. Well, nothing is shown of it yet, but like the way they're explaining it. They're like a AAA action RPG. Not a mobile game, not like a microtransaction game, hopefully.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the only information that I know about it. It's set 1,000 years before The Last Airbender, and you're supposed to be an avatar. And that's it. That's all we know.
Wonder if you get to pick.
Sounds like a win to me. I do prefer before. I prefer past to future in the Avatar world, so
I think so too.
1,000 years in the past will probably be a lot, though. There'll be a big difference, I would imagine, with like the way the world works. But it's like the franchise that has never gotten anything good for games. I mean, there's some okay ones on like the GameCube, but nothing that's like AAA.
Yeah.
We need like the Hogwarts Legacy of Avatar, basically.
I kind of forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'm excited for it. I hope it ends up being good. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about it more if I ever hear more about it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to know more.
It just seems like something that could be fun, like just the idea of personally, like honestly, I mean, I'm fine with what they've said, but I kind of would prefer to not be an avatar. I think it'd be cooler to like be restricted to one bending style.
Give your choices. I mean, like at least your character more meaning. It's like, oh, which element do I want to bend versus I'll eventually learn them all. Which one do I want to start with?
Yeah, exactly. I see how that it can be somewhat difficult though, because the way the Avatar world is, like, it's not really often that, benders go to different nations. So, like, you'd basically have completely different games until you get towards the end-ish parts, or at least the first chapter would have to be completely different,
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it's cool. I mean, it really comes down to, for me, honestly, the combat's got to be good. Like, good bending gameplay, that's going to be so fun if it's good.
The animations have to look nice. Can't be like the movie.
That too.
The live action.
Oh, yeah. The live action show The bending looks pretty cool, though.
I'd agree.
The acting's not great, but the bending looks cool. That's all I got for Avatar. Other thing, this is big news, actually. I'm surprised this took so long. Last week, or it might have been over the weekend, end of last week, possibly weekend, they finally announced that Frieren is confirmed for a season 2. Got greenlit.
I saw that. I think it's not season 2. It's like part 2 of season 1.
Yeah. But it's a new season, pretty much.
Yeah, actually, there was there was an anime that season 2 was restarting that I was excited about.
I don't know, but I think Frieren is probably my favorite anime that is currently like in progress.
I do enjoy it the most.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch many shows as far as anime that are like current. I guess the only one would be Boruto. I occasionally hop in and like catch up a little bit, but I don't really enjoy it that much. I enjoy it like maybe every second or third arc, you know?
Yeah, I haven't watched any of Boruto. Or I watched a tiny bit of Boruto. I stopped pretty much in the beginning. Remember a turtle time travel, and I was like, I'm out.
That's actually one of the best arcs.
No, I know. I like that arc, but then it stopped being good.
That's not really the beginning. That's like after... That's like 120 or something like that. That's like more than halfway through.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, Boruto, it goes like 2-3 bad arcs, 1 banger. 2-3 bad arcs, 1 banger, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a tough watch to watch like consistently. That's why, like, when I hear, oh, Boruto's getting hype again, I'm like, all right, let me catch up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's been a couple months now, but they finished part 1 of Boruto, so, you know, now would be a good time to catch up if you do plan on it, since the manga for part 2 is going on right now, and I imagine the anime will be soon, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see they bodied they bodied the freaking, what's his name? Miyazaki or something like that. I can't remember. I'll remember it later. But the Naruto guy, there was an interview with him and the writer of Boruto. And someone was interviewing them and they're like, oh, what's your favorite designs of each other's characters? You know, like pretty basic questions. And like the translator absolutely, oh, it's Kishimoto, that's his name. I don't know why I forgot. They absolutely bodied Kishimoto with a mistranslation. He's like, oh yeah, I like the young Sarada design, it looks cool, or something like that was what he actually said. And they translated it as, I like young Sarada, she's sexy.
Yikes.
And then like a bunch of people were like, he needs to be removed from everything.
Yeah, like cancel this
like,
man immediately.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. It's like, no, he didn't say that. It was so toxic. That's exactly what I was thinking, that meme of the weight. But imagine that. Imagine someone translates your words to a different language and bodies
Honestly,
you like
the translator should be fired. Like, they failed their job.
Yeah, right?
In the most huge way imaginable.
Well, I believe it was translated multiple times, not like one guy. So like through
like a game of telephone.
Yeah, like Japanese to Spanish to something else to eventually English, and then that's how it came out.
Yeah, I guess. But that's probably, honestly, that's on the news outlets that reported it, because they should define his direct quote and do a direct translation.
I bet you, they probably won't. We'll probably never know for sure, but I bet you this is some kind of AI thing where someone just threw it in AI, you know?
Maybe.
Or like Google translated it, but like, because like apparently I don't remember the exact words, and it's been a while since this happened, so I don't remember them. But like no, it's not necessarily that the word translates like that, but like the word for cool or cute or something like that is really close to sexy in Japanese. Like they're like one letter off or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
He got bodied, basically.
He did, though.
And he's like, why does everyone hate me? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just think that's... I mean, it's funny because, like, it was then explained afterwards, but... Yeah, pretty toxic. It has an impact,
though. People will read that, see it, and then move on thinking that's the truth and not actually... Oh, he didn't actually say this.
He didn't say that. That sucks, though. But kind of funny, not gonna lie. Do you remember, just to get back to Freerin, do you remember how it ended? They, like, what's her name? Fern just got her license, right? And they were leaving that town. That's how it ended?
That's one thing I don't know why the show, it just felt like it stopped, like, when they got to that town.
Yeah, well, they did, because the last, like, 4 to 8 episodes or something like that was the exams, and I don't know if you remember, but for me at least, I thought while it was still high quality, I thought it went from a 10 out of 10 to like maybe an 8 when it got to the exams.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get back into that world because from the way it left off, it seemed like they were about to be back in the more adventure type thing, traveling, which is the stuff I want to see.
I think that's when the show shines because that's when they come across cool encounters.
Me too.
And
yeah, exactly. I think I like Freerin more now than even when I watched it. Like, that's one of my favorite animes. Obviously, they could ruin it with, future seasons, but with the point it's at right now. What's that?
Especially after watching other animes, they just don't compare.
Yeah. I totally know what you mean. I also, went... Because after we watched that, I was like, man, anime's back. And I went and watched whatever stuff I was looking at. And every time I was like, it was like, oh, this is okay. Or this is not great. Like, nothing was close to Freerin. What can you do, though,
Just wait for the next banger to come out. Patiently.
Yeah, right.
Patiently and patiently.
Okay. This I just saw yesterday. This is like a month old, but I still thought this was surprising news and I wanted to bring it up. Wizards 101 is coming to Xbox and PlayStation.
I knew about this.
I didn't, and that's cool. Like, I played that game a little bit. I didn't get super into it, but I think it's cool that it's still around because that game was like the hype thing in like middle school and elementary school.
I played this game a lot. Like, this is the game I would wake up early for school to play. In the mornings.
Well, that's cool that it's coming to consoles.
Yeah, and even to this day, probably like once a year, I'll buy a membership for a couple months and then continue playing the game because I haven't beaten it because the game is
on Steam, right?
Yeah, it's on Steam, but I just go through their website still.
Well, it's an MMO. It's probably the only MMO you've ever actually poured tons into.
Yeah,
but it's also part card game, right? From what I remember.
So your cards, so your spells are cards that you draw, and then on the cards there's modifiers and a percentage.
I mean, it's definitely unique because it's like an MMO, but also it's got turn-based card combat, so that's and not
and has the random aspect to it because there's a percentage that your spells just don't work. So if you're a lightning class, your cards have a 75% chance casting or a 25% chance of fizzing.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. Not that I know of, at least. I don't know of another game that's like that, but I just thought it was cool that it was going to console. I was like, wow, that game's still around and it's actually still thriving too, not even just around.
If you ever want to play it, I would so be down.
I don't know, maybe. Now,
only on the second world. Actually, no, I'm on the third world.
Here's the big news of the week, 2 days old. You haven't heard of it? I feel like you would have said that you'd think you know what it is if you heard.
And is it something Halo related?
Yeah, it is the Halo thing.
I saw a thumbnail about Halo, but I didn't actually click on it because I was like, you'll probably tell me.
So, 343 has been shut down. Kind of.
Let's go.
There's no 343 anymore.
What happened to the franchise?
This is the great news. So a year ago, tons of Halo rumors came out. They're like, what's going to happen? 343 basically had its entire staff replaced. So even before this news, it wasn't the same.
I remember us reporting on this.
Yeah. So they already had completely new staff, but it was still technically 343.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've changed the staff out. They swapped the name recently. They're like, we're not 343. We pretty much have no one left that is from that era, like, is what they were saying. It was so funny the way the guy explained it, too. He's like, because the people were, like, asking questions. He's like, well, we like to think of it as chapters. We had the Bungie chapter, the one after that, and now we're in this one.
That's funny.
Like, he didn't want to say it.
I hope that they deserve to not have to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the new name, kind of lame, not gonna lie. It's just called Halo Studios. I mean, it's not bad, I guess, but pretty standard stuff, you know?
Maybe, hopefully this will mean that their development is targeted and focused. Versus
well, here is
the heck happened
possible
before.
Good news towards this stuff. So they not only announced that, but they've confirmed a bunch of rumors that have been going around for the last year-ish, maybe more than a year. They said Halo 100% now is being made in Unreal. So they've completely scrapped their Halo engine. It's made in Unreal from this point forward, which honestly, good. And they talked a lot about what I thought was cool. They're like, yeah, so part of the reason there was trouble with Infinite is because, you know, we're working as a tech company and a game developer. So it's like we're making this engine at the same time as making the game. He's like, we didn't really have the ability to focus on making the game.
That's a lot, too. It spreads them kind of thin.
Yeah, and they're like, so we're hoping now that with Unreal, not only will we be able to focus on making the game, but as we hire new people, you know, like, people in the world know Unreal. Whereas their old engine, you wouldn't even be able to start learning it until you're hired.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another confirmation, they said that due to this Halo switch to Unreal, they are currently working on multiple Halo games, not just one.
Like different types, or are they all FPS?
They didn't say exactly. They said multiple Halo games. Now,
Halo
they also
Wars?
showed things, though. They're like, yeah, so here's our little tech demo that we made of Halo in Unreal, which it's basically just, you know, visual stuff. Like, it is in-engine stuff, but it's like
they're just trying to
not
adapt
gameplay or anything. It's just like, here's what Halo can look like in Unreal, is what they're saying. Yeah. And I think this basically confirms another rumor, because the entire thing they showed was like 99% assets from Halo 1, which, like, why would you make all those if you're not remaking the game, you know? Like,
mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you think about Halo it too, 1. That would be a hell of a way to introduce yourselves, being like, here's a good Halo 1 remake.
Yeah. So, while technically the Halo 1 remake isn't confirmed, they showed a tech demo of 99% Halo 1 shots, all Halo 1 assets, and said, we're working on multiple games.
Plus, it lets them get comfortable with the engine and, like, you know, getting everything set up and getting assets made and whatever.
Yeah, like I would get it if it was like general stuff like there, but it was like so clear. It was Chief's Halo 1 armor. Like, there's no reason for him to have that for you to like make that just cause, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they made like an entire flood biome, which I don't see why the flood would be made if it's not in the original trilogy somewhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're bringing the flood back, but I kind of like, I mean, maybe they're bringing the flood back in the next Halo, but it would just, I feel like it's more likely to be like that's being made because of it taking place either in the original trilogy time frame, some like maybe a spin-off in that time, or the Halo 1 remake, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure it's probably one of the three.
It looked super cool. You should watch it. It's like just a 2-minute thing of them like, here's the Halo 1 Magnum. They're like, here's the Halo 1 Magnum that only exists in Halo 1. Here's Halo or Master Chief's Halo 1 armor that only exists in Halo 1. Here's what is clearly a flood-infected biome, which only exists in the original trilogy. That one's a little bit more broad, but I mean, come on, you know?
They're telling you without telling you what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's
when
good
you
news,
it's
but
like when
it's
you're taking
also
a test, you cheat, and someone like slides their work so you can read it, but you don't say anything.
Yeah. It's like, it's one of those things though where it's kind of scary though, because it's like, am I letting them get me again? Because they've tricked me into thinking this is the one every single time. You know?
Yeah, they have. I feel like what they feel
really?
Like maybe they know that this time it's different. Like in the sense that they betray people's trust, it really is over.
But it's like, we've said that for Halo 4, no one could have known. For Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, we've said the same thing though. Like, are we really going to fall for it again? But then at the same time, it's like, it's all new people. They even changed the name because they know like everyone hates 343. Like, that's pretty unheard of in the gaming industry. Like, your company bodied your IP so bad that you just had to change its name. Like,
yeah, that is true. But I feel like a lot of the fault lies in gamers. Like, they have to like wait for the game to come out and see if it's good versus blindly supporting
I'm definitely not
before it comes out.
Well, okay. If it's a Halo 1 remake, I might buy it day one. But the next Halo, I won't buy day one unless
Just don't pre-order.
Well, I don't pre-order ever. What's also cool is, this is older news, but the guy that brought MCC to PC and revived it when it was completely broken for 6 years, he's the guy now in charge of Halo Studios. So they replaced the old people that, you know, screwed up Infinite and Halo 5 and Halo 4 with the guy that revived MCC.
So that maybe they're putting good leadership in the right places.
It seems like it, right? And this guy, like the way he was talking in that video, it seems, obviously I could just be assuming, but just the way he was talking, it seems like his area of Halo he likes is the original trilogy. Like, he's like, this is the stuff I like, you know?
Yeah, so maybe there's a bit of passion too.
It seems like, at least that guy, man, I don't know. I'm hoping I don't get bodied again, but it's like, it's one of those things where, like, when I saw it, I'm not even kidding you, it was like almost like that the meme of like the person with the single tear just looking at it smiling.
Mm-hmm. It's a
like,
single
it's happening.
tear of joy.
Is it coming back? But you know, I'm gonna stay skeptical because they literally bodied me 4 times if you include MCC's original release.
That's a lot.
And the thing is, like, as toxic as it sounds, they really know how to trick me into thinking, is this the one? Like, a Halo 1 remake is literally, well, any of the original trilogy, I guess, but since the Halo 1 remake is like the one that is assumed, that's like the only thing I could even imagine that would give me a chance of being like, all right, I'll give you another shot after Halo Infinite's disaster.
Their marketing department's really pumping off. Or whoever decides what to get made.
It's like, I'm upset that I'm happy about it, you know what I mean? It's like, you tricked me again. and the worst part is, like, I'm falling for... Yeah, it's like, I know I'm falling for this, but I'm still falling for it.
Yeah, I can just imagine you like smiling, like shooting finger guns at like 343, now called Halo Studios.
Yeah, the good news though, right?
Mm-hmm.
It I guess overall it's good news, right? Like, it's all new people. Those people that are now getting a chance, at least they're not, stuck with the burden of everyone hating them because of something they didn't even do,
Yeah, it's a new name, new people.
New engine.
Yeah, it's pretty much new everything.
What's also cool about that is the game, I'm assuming at least, because they'll be able to have more experienced people hired, the game should come out faster now. It shouldn't be 6 or 7 years between Halos, I mean, I feel like the fact that they're working on multiple is their exact words, which I'm assuming
train
it's 2.
New programmers and developers quicker.
Yeah, exactly. And it looked really good, like visually, because honestly, Halo hasn't looked good in a while. Infinite looked pretty average at best. Halo 5 looked okay. I think Halo 4 actually visually looked really good. The designs were bad, but the graphics were good, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like, Elites were ugly as hell, but for the time, they looked like realistic. Just stupid design.
I like the way the Elites look.
So they've moved me from I'm not even gonna look at the next Halo to I'll keep my eye on it now, which annoys me, but hopefully it's good,
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I mean, if it's
like
a remake,
big gaming news.
I wouldn't really
the Halo 1 thing.
consider it. Like, I wouldn't base the future of Halo off the remake.
Yeah, I agree. Unless it's terrible, because I mean,
yeah, that's
if
true.
It's terrible, that's a bad sign.
But I would have to wait for an
imagine it comes
original
in an MCC type of thing, original MCC that didn't even work.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that I don't know. I'm really hoping, we've talked about it before, that if they do end up going the Halo 1 remake route, that they make everything that was there how it was. Maybe you can add some new weapons or something, but like besides that, keep it the same. And then if you want to add new stuff, pull from the extended universe lore in that time frame and add it there,
Yeah.
I think that's like the way to do a remake. Like, look at like I've said, the Resident Evil remakes are literally like the gold standard for remaking a game. Like, do that,
Yeah, that's true. They are very good remakes.
Anyways, though, that wraps up the news. Unless you have anything,
I don't.
Okay, so let's move on to Shrek. Shrek 2. I think it's way better than the first one. I think it's way funnier than the first one. And I actually think it is decently emotional.
I would agree. I love all the little pop culture reference.
Oh my god, yeah. Basing Far Away on Hollywood, I think is hilarious. Like,
they
just
play
the store
so
names
well.
in the backgrounds are hilarious. Like, I was like pausing to look at the store names and stuff. Like,
did you see like the Burger King, the Starbucks?
Yeah, it was like Gap, but like something I can't remember them, but they were like puns on fairy tales. The names of these things,
and then all like the typical like princesses were just celebrities.
Yeah, just had like giant mansions there.
It's very good.
Yeah, man, Shrek 2. Really freaking good. Like,
even
really, like I'm trying to think of another like sequel that
Shrek,
did that.
Like, it all makes sense too. Like Shrek goes to get the potion because he cares about Fiona and just actually wants her to be happy. Which, what a good message for like a children's story. And then like,
it's okay to be ugly.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like the whole thing about Shrek. And as an ugly person, that resonates.
That's why it's your favorite series.
But it's not, I don't know, like it makes sense. He goes to get the potion, he drinks it. And then since Fiona woke up human again, she's like, when she sees Shrek human, she's like, oh, it must be him. But then even she comes to realize it's not him because he just isn't acting the same.
Yeah.
Like it all.
I also really like how this movie uses the side characters a lot more.
Yeah, and then like side characters kind of help move the story.
Yeah, I like how they're like buddies of Shrek. You know, the pigs, the mice, Pinocchio.
Well, I like how it's only the
Man.
one mice because the other two are still horses.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But man, it's freaking cool. It's the only thing that I think is worse about this is I think Farquaad is a better villain, but everything else about this movie is better.
That's true. I don't really feel like there's a villain, but it's not like she does anything like inherently like evil.
Yeah,
Like,
she locks him in a room, but then she just convinces him, and he's like,
he just
"Yeah,
gave
you're right."
up. It's just because he just didn't believe in himself.
Yeah, exactly. He just needed her. All she had to do was say, "Bro, you ugly," and he's like, "Bet."
I'm ugly and I'm proud. Damn it.
Well, that's how it ended.
Yeah.
But man, there's like I said last time, the freaking like cop show bit, hilarious. The pepper at the eyes for pepper spray, still the funniest thing I think in the whole movie.
That is funny.
The breaking him out of jail scene, that's also so funny.
Yeah.
Like the Mission Impossible thing.
And then like when Pinocchio has to lie.
Yeah, they bodied him there, didn't they?
They really did. There's a lot
Why
of
was he
jokes
wearing that
would like not fly today for children movies. I feel like this movie's kind of raunchy for a kids movie.
Yeah, they do swear less in this. They only say ass like 2-3 times.
But like he's wearing a thong.
Yeah, and he's like a gender confused wolf, they say at one point. That's another one that they probably wouldn't put in a movie today.
It's funny. I like
what's that?
I just find the movie funny.
It's so funny. And the introduction of Puss in Boots, like, you would think after watching the first one, you're like, Donkey's the best. I think they top him with Puss in Boots. I love Puss in Boots.
It's so funny how Puss and Shrek get along instantly.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what was cool? I don't know if you noticed it, but at the end when they were singing, and Puss was like, I could see myself falling for her, or whatever, like, the lyrics he was talking about, the cat that shows up in the movie, like the black cat, was in the audience.
Right.
I just think that was a cool little Easter egg. I didn't notice
that. Well, I haven't seen the other movies from this point forward, so
you haven't seen The Last Wish?
Nothing forward from here, no.
I thought you saw The Last Wish. I thought we did a thing on it.
Nope. Maybe I would have seen some of the other Shrek movies, but I don't remember a single second of them. So
it's Puss in Boots movie.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. I'm just saying anything that is a like lead into a future movie, I would have missed because I haven't seen anything after this.
Yeah, it was cool.
The whole scene in the fairy godmother's factory is hilarious too. I think he's like, we're actually with the union, and he's like, we don't even have dental, and he's like, they don't have dental. Like, I just thought that was so funny. It's like jokes that aren't funny at all when you're a kid because you're like, this is dumb, but like that shit's hilarious, I think.
Yeah, it really is.
They don't have dental, and Puss gets the bottle out with his claw and like sticks his hand to the circle. I think it's funny. It's just a great flick, honestly.
It is.
What the entire last sequence when they go to see the Muffin Man from Drury Lane, and then like that whole ending part is amazing with the giant gingerbread man and storming the castle.
I listened to that song a lot, actually. Fairy Godmother singing.
The Fairy Godmother version, too.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, but this movie, it's really funny. It actually has a more interesting story than the last one. Like, it's not just generic as hell. It's good. the dad has a great arc, I think.
He does, actually. I like it. I actually like everyone's arc, because even in the beginning, everyone was like kind of dismissive of Fiona. And then at the end, Shrek was like, what do you want?
Yeah, Shrek arcs through like accepting himself again, but also just like not being an asshole.
Pretty much.
Fiona also like kind of accepts Shrek's like worries. Donkey's just having a good time.
Donkey's Donkey. He's a handsome stone.
I like the Donkey and Puss in Boots relationship, how they become like friends towards the end.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. It's mentioned in The Last Wish as well.
Really, the only character that's like a straight homie the whole time is the mom. She's the only one that is like not an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, think about that.
Fiona's mom is pretty chill, but like the whole movie, she's like, "Chill, everyone, relax."
She's like, why are we getting so hasty or angry at each other? Just relax.
I do think it's funny how Shrek read like what I assume was a little girl's diary at the time. Like she must have been young. And he's
took
like,
it as fact.
She had a crush when she was 5. I'm out of here.
How dare
like,
she?
That's just funny to me. Because from what I'm well, I guess I don't know how old she was actually when they put her in the tower.
She wants the typical happily ever after, fairy like princess ending, and he just can't give that to her.
I do. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't like for me though. I think the best arc was the dad. Honestly, like I just thought that was really cool. He was an asshole. Then he was conflicted in the middle of the movie, which I liked. I liked that he didn't just switch over.
True.
And
it
then
took
he
him time to become good.
Yeah, and then he had like the big sacrifice at the end where he jumped in front of the wand. Yeah. And then you realize that my man is literally just Shrek. He's the same exact situation.
Do you think that's why Fiona turned into an ogre? Because he was part frog?
Maybe. It could... Well, I don't know. Didn't they say it was a curse or something?
Yeah, but like... Is it really a curse, or is it just a fairy godmother manipulating people?
That's true. That is true. Who knows for sure, though? Look, the point is, if you're looking for like a good comedy that is also like a decent adventure, Shrek 2 is freaking awesome. I would say significantly better than the first one, and the first one's still good, but this is like on another level.
Yeah, the second one does a great job of building on and improving the first one in every way.
You know what this reminds me of? But some people will disagree. Well, I guess not. I was going to say Pirates of the Caribbean 1 to 2, but I think I do like Pirates of the Caribbean 1 a lot more than... Like, I think it's a smaller jump from 1 to 2 in Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is, I think.
But yeah, huge jump in quality from 1 to 2. And I think what it comes down to is just it not being as generic of a general story, Like that's what makes it more fun.
Yeah, well, it starts leaning
using the side characters.
Yeah, it leans into its unique world and setting. And like,
yeah,
we never really see fairy tale creatures in this way. We see them behaving in their roles versus acting like Hollywood stars or whatever.
And I just love the squad. Like, the whole squad is cool. The pigs, Pinocchio, the wolf, Gingerbread Man. Like, pretty much every time they show up is one of my favorite scenes.
They are pretty funny.
But, man, it is kind of sad, like, at some points when, like, the dad just, before he, like, fully understands, they're having that talk in the room, and right before he switches the tea. And then he switches the tea. I was like, hell yeah, he switched the tea. That part's sad, don't you think?
No, it is.
It's a good flick, though. I recommend it. Hear me out on this one, Bert. Well, I think I said 6 for Shrek 1. This Shrek 2, I think it's an 8, but like almost a 9. It's close, but it's an 8.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Okay.
I think this movie's really good.
If you are just basing it like for comedy movies, it's probably like 9, 10, you know, like for animated comedy.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best. Especially because it isn't like straight up raunchy humor. Like it's like actually funny.
I just like that some jokes require some thought, you know, like
that's what I mean. Like it isn't
like
funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like nothing to me is funnier than the fucking pepper grinder as pepper spray. Like and they don't sit there and explain to you the joke, but he just does it, and it's like I remember the first time I saw it, I was like watching it and like, oh, why are they putting pepper in his? And then I was like, oh, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like that's hilarious to me. I find that so funny.
Or how when before they put that scene on, Pinocchio wanted the wheel of torture instead of the wheel of fortune.
That whole thing is hilarious. That whole bit with them watching TV and like the parody TV shows, super funny.
And the mirror being like the news, like the broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's great, man. It's really good. There were some funny lines. I wish I could remember them. That like I was watching it and it made me laugh. But the main things I remember, like I said, the pepper, and then the final scene was honestly some decent action. He loses the gumdrop button and then he like launches it in as a fireball.
Yeah, and it's funny when like Gingerbread Man reacts. He's like, "Not the gumdrop button."
And then they pour his only weakness on him, hot milk.
Yeah.
Which is also hilarious that they just had that on hand. Like they expected it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, a giant gingerbread. Quick, go to the giant milk reserves.
Open the kegs.
Oh my god. It's so good. Definitely a top tier animated movie. I think that wraps up what we have to say about Shrek, but we're going to extend this a small bit, talking about some things. Bert.
Yes.
What have you been up to? You have to have been up to something besides running for your life.
Honestly, I haven't. The hurricane has sent me running for my life the past 2 weeks in a row.
You went back both times?
Yes.
Wow, that sucks. The first one wasn't even that bad, I thought, in your area.
I mean, I thought
that was
flooding.
More north.
There was some flooding around the area, but it wasn't terrible.
This one's pretty much right on your area, so this was a good pullback.
Hoping my computer's okay, because I left my gaming PC at my dorm.
Yeah, it's not. Well, hopefully, but we'll see how it goes. I'm thinking we're probably not gonna have to worry. Like, it'll rain a lot and be kind of a little bit scary, but we're like on the edge of it out here, so.
Yeah, my parents are talking about putting shutters up.
Yeah. Hopefully everything goes well for other people. Yeah, because that is a really bad area for it to hit. And it's an area that doesn't ever get hit. Too. Just a storm bigger than the state, whatever.
We'll take it. It's casual.
Well, since you haven't been up to anything but retreating, I have really grinded out Black Sails, the TV show.
How is it?
It's good. It's really good. The first season I really liked. The second season started off slow, so I was like, do I like this? I don't know. Second season, by its completion, God tier. Third season, God tier. And I'm about halfway through the fourth and final season so far. Very good. Haven't come to the ending yet. Hopefully it's not one of those ruin the whole show with the ending type of things.
Yeah, hopefully it holds up.
But I would say you should watch it if you're looking for a show because, I'm 10, 28, 32 to 34 episodes in, and everyone has been like legendary. So
I'll probably look into downloading it, keep myself entertained during the storm.
Yeah, very, very good show. Huge fan. I will update you when I finish it, what I thought of the ending without spoiling it, but I'll let you know if I was like, Because for me, at least, if the ending's dog shit, I would be like, don't watch it. You don't want to, because you do want to set yourself up for disappointment, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's good, I'll be more inclined to watch it. It's like, great, let's get invested in a great story.
Yeah, the way that it seems to be wrapping up, the way like it's heading right now, I am very happy with so far. But we will see. Secondly, what have I been doing? I haven't been gaming, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Actually, I take that back. I've been playing Orcs Must Die 3. Orcs Must Die 3 freaking rocks. I loved Orcs Must Die 2. 3 came out like 2 years ago or something, and I bought it and never played it. Now I'm finally playing it. It's sick. Super fun. Ever played an Orcs Must Die?
No.
It's a tower defense game, but you're like a hero. It's not like Balloon. It's more like, you ever played Dungeon Defenders?
I love Dungeon Defenders 2. I would play the Wizard.
Really? You like Dungeon Defenders 2?
That's the one I would play the most.
1 is way better, but they're both fine.
I was whatever I had on my Xbox 360.
There's no way. You're thinking of Dungeon Defenders 1.
Maybe I am. Probably am.
Dungeon Defenders 2. Let me check the release date on this. Yeah, there's no way you played Dungeon Defenders 2 released in 2017 on your 360.
No, it was 1.
That's what I thought. 1's way better. The point is, it's like Dungeon Defenders, okay? Off the topic of Dungeon Defenders, it's like that. It's that kind of game.
Okay.
It's a tower defense.
But you can move around.
Yeah. And it's slightly different from Dungeon Defenders, where like Dungeon Defenders is more about blocking the path. You know what I mean? Like how in Dungeon Defenders you put up the barricades and you block them and they don't get through.
Yeah.
Orcs Must Die is about creating a path. Like they always get through, but you're just
slowing them down versus stopping them.
Exactly. Or killing them before they get there. I think I prefer Dungeon Defenders a little bit more, but I do really like both. Both are cool. And in Orcs Must Die 3, which is the newer one, they have this new thing in it. They're called like war levels, I think, wars or something, where it's like flashbacks, and it's like these huge, big scale ones where there's like, it's got to be thousands more enemies than like a normal level, and they're like big, like castle siege type things. Those levels rock. Those are so fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I got to say about Orcs Must Die. Honestly, if you're ever like thinking, oh, I've never played Orcs Must Die, I'd like to try it. Get 2.
2?
Well, get any of them, honestly. I'll play any of them with you. They're all good. I'll
probably watch a vid or something and see if it would be a game I'd want to play.
I mean, the characters are way cooler in the second one, but I think that the traps are better in 3. There's way more trap types in 3 than there was in 2. That's all I got to say. Besides that, let me think. Oh, I did remember something. I have discovered a game that I'm thinking about getting, but it's in early access, so I'm not sure if I'm going to, but it looks so freaking cool.
What is it?
Indie game. It's called Sea Blip. Okay? Now, hear me out on this one. I believe you know what these games I'm about to say are. It is looking like a combo between Stardew Valley, you know that game, and Faster Than Light. You know that game?
Yeah. It reminds me of...
with a pirate setting. So it's like a pirate Faster Than Light, but also somewhat Stardew Valley. It looks so freaking cool. It is not done yet, though. Dave the Diver does not really have Faster Than Light type stuff.
No, but it's the same sort of like... I don't know how to describe it. I mean, in my head, they all relate to the same sort of game.
Well, I'm specifically talking about Faster Than Light's combat stuff. that.
I haven't played
but with
I haven't
pirate
played a
ships,
Faster to Light in such a long time.
that game rocks, man. That's probably one of my favorite indie games, honestly, Faster Than Light. The point is, I found this game. All the reviews are super positive. I watched a ton of YouTube videos on. Everyone's like, it's awesome. Obviously, it's still in early access, though, so I'm going to wait until at least, like, the story is done so I could get a full story playthrough before I play it.
Yeah, that's smart.
But, man, it looks super cool. Check it out. Honestly, it looks really, really fun. And like I've said before, gaming just struggles on pirate games, so
send me the name of it so that way I can find
Sea
it.
Blip
Later.
is what it's called.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know how long it'll be in early access. A one-man dev, so probably a while. Came out originally into early access on Steam May 17th. So 8 months-ish? No, I counted wrong. 7 months-ish. You know, it's getting there. I'm excited though. I think now that is probably all I have to say. That's like my extent for gaming. You haven't been gaming? I think that's it. Next week we will see. There's a chance we get delayed if Bert's entire school is destroyed and he has no way of recording. We'll
Hopefully
see.
Not. I'm sure my dorm will be okay. I'm confident.
Oh, good.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Worst case, we skip 1 week. But I'm kind of not seeing that happening, but we'll see how it goes, you know?
Yeah. Or actually, you and Alex could record and I might just not be here.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't even know what our next episode's on, so we got to think about that. Maybe there'll be some whatever the next Shrek is at the end, but I don't know what the rest of it will be about.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see. We'll talk to him when he gets here. Besides that, we're good to wrap up. Unless you have any last words before you hit him with the thing, Bert.
I don't.
Hit him with it.
Keep it salty.